Hello, everybody. Let me know if you can see or hear me. All right. Well, shoot. It appears as if you can no longer see the pop-up chat here. You can only see it on the welcome screen for some reason. Oh my goodness, do I hate technology. I hate technology, I hate technology, I hate technology, I hate technology. I hate technology, I hate technology, I hate technology. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. This has all been recording ever for like the past half hour too. I never hit record, but my only option is stop recording. So I don't know how that happened, but I'm going to see if I can get the chat to show up. Give me a second. Discuss amongst yourselves. I still have 3 minutes before we're even starting. All right. Like that. Click the 3 dots. Click pop-out chat. Go to OBS. Try another sources. Browser. We're going to call this try again. So what I'm doing is trying to get the, if I click on a comment in the chats to show up on the screen. It was showing up on the welcome screen, but it's not showing up on the actual screen with me. So, text amongst yourselves. Topic, what do we hate about Robin? Go. Okay, keep going. All right, oops. Sources, browser. URL 1920. I'm so glad you're all here. Keep chatting. I should hopefully, by the time the clock hits 8 o'clock, have this all working. That gives me 2 minutes. Okay. Sources, filters. Okay. Okay. Wait. Success. Feels so good. Whew. Lovely. Okay. We're here, everybody. Good to see you all. Let me see who's all here before we get going. Oh, ding. Who's dinging me? I don't know what that ding was. Let's keep going. Ruth Carroll. Pamela Curl. Rogue. Like that name. Marissa. Hello, sister friends. Hope everyone's having a nice day. Tammy Bray. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I start the live actually 30 minutes early, but that's just for me to do all these click, 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 get the countdown timer to work, try to get the main screen on. Yeah, it's just, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and keep complaining about technology like I do every week. All right. Ruth Carroll, I had a happy day. I saw my son. Isn't that the best days when you see your kids, honestly? Sarah Godmother, you're right. 8 o'clock. It's when my go time for when we're actually going to begin. Nana Papa, Inkenberry. Hello, I'm glad you made it. All right. Marissa Herlinger is in St. Louis. Welcome from St. Louis. All right. German Shepherd ladies here. Good to see you again. Thank you, KB. You can see and hear me. Mama Squirrel can too. Everything is working. Thank you. All right. Hello, Linda Kohler. Glad you're here. Christine Stewart is coming from Northern California. Welcome. Mama Squirrel, it's frozen for you. If you can see or hear this, just refresh. It should be working now. All right. Lynn Skinner's here. Good to see you. And hello, all you sister friends. All right. Hello, Mace. Oh, Mace Chill is here. Good to see you, Mace. Just wrote a comment to you yesterday, I think it was. All right. Oh, yes. And here are the comments about yourself. What drives you crazy about Robin? Fake crying. The worst. The eyebrows. She has to see herself on videos and pictures. I don't know. I don't know who's giving her the advice on those brows. Stolen purity. That's a good one. Yes. Valadia's here. Good to see you, Valadia. I'm glad you're here. All right. She keeps breathing in and out. Sorry, Ruth. My microphone is very sensitive. I tried to turn the sound down while I was doing everything into the last minute, but it is highly sensitive. But hopefully that means you can pick everything up from me. All right. We will truly need the cloak this evening. Really? This book has just been sitting here since last week, with the whole gouge out of it still from the post office. Thank you very much, USPS. All right. Luther Carroll. Things are going fast here. We have people from Nevada, people from Texas. I can't look at her brows. I am hoping that this time I can get the chat to show up. I don't know. Oh, she's breathing. That's funny. Can you only hear breathing still? Oh, wait. I want to make sure you can hear me. Write in the chat if you can hear me talking. Or did I click on something that the sound went away? Let me know. Hello, Missouri. Can you hear me talking now? If so, put a smiley face in the chat. Any smiley faces? I know there's a little bit of a delay from when I talk to when you get it. Hi from Wisconsin. Ronia forever. Hear you talking. Okay, good. Whew. Oh, that's funny. That would be crazy if you just heard breathing and not me talking. I've been sitting here chatting to myself. All right, great. I'm glad you can hear me. Okay, good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cat, be kind. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, the breathing comment was about Robin. Gotcha. Because we were talking about what we don't like about Robin. Awesome. Look at all the smiley faces. You all can hear me. I'm so happy. All right, great. Earlier this week, was it yesterday? I think it was just yesterday. I was finishing up a video. I'm still actually working on it. I was up late last night working on a video, and then I was just going to rewatch it today, but I had lots of appointments and errands and everything, and so I didn't get around to looking at it again. So tomorrow I'll finish editing that, and it's another one of the videos that I recorded the day that Garrison passed. So I had like 3 videos that I had made that day, plus stuff for my sub-channel, Reality TV Breakdown. So I think there was stuff on, I don't remember what, but I had stuff recorded for that too. And then I just stopped everything because I had zero desire to not be sad, and say, I don't want to say animated or happy, but like I couldn't be myself anymore because I just kind of felt depressed and sad. So I've been releasing those, and I have one more that's almost edited. And so as I'm doing it, I'm thinking about, I really need to do a video on the contradictions and lies of Robin. But I want documentation for it. So I was thinking, okay, here are the 3 things that I know that I can find video documentation of in the series that contradicts things that she has said. You can see me okay here. I turned the light off in the room because I think the backlight made me very dark. I hope this isn't too bright though. So in the process of doing that, I created a post, and I thought I'd get like 3 or 4 responses, and then I clicked on it today and there were like 89 responses. I was like, oh my goodness, we all have a lot of things that bug us about Robin. So some of them were not outright lies. They were just things that bother you. And I understand. I get it. And there's a lot of stuff that are lies that like part of the whole folklore of our community of sister friends and sister wife viewers, of things we know about because we heard this person talk to that person and all that. But like, I don't want to just do a video of here are all the things that I heard about that are different. I really want to have, and here's the clip to show it was an outright lie. So I'm going to feed through them and see if there's anything I can find. But knowing that, if you want to go ahead and add or edit, if you knew that there was definitely something in a television series around the middle of the time, or you don't have to tell me the exact, it'd be great if you knew the exact episode, but you can say, I know that there was a time that she said this, and then there was a video of her doing this. Then I will go dig and start watching and find it in there somewhere. But other than that, now some people did say that there's documentation of some other stuff online that she did. So I will look into that too, because if I can find proof, like there's proof of the fact that her husband filed for divorce and she made it sound like she was the one that divorced him, and the fact that she didn't have any money, but then here's documentation that she had $1,000 owed on a Victoria's Secret credit card. Like, if you can't afford heat for your family, why are you spending $1,000 at Victoria's Secret? Plus an additional, $29,000 at many other places as well. So that's stuff that I can kind of piece together. Anyway, so I just wanted to explain all that. If this spurs something on in your head too, go ahead and add to that comment section, edit what you have, add another comment, whatever you want to do. And in the next week or two, I'm going to start going through them and picking out ones and then putting a video together of that, because I thought it'd be kind of fun. In this day and age where we're starting to pick back up again and laugh and get back to things, the thing that's the most fun is poking fun at Robin and Cody. So, and of course I still have plenty of Mormonism live videos that are going to be coming. I haven't watched and recorded anything yet, but it's a coming for you all. All right. Very good. Quickly look through chat here. Everyone's saying where they're from. I love it. Do we have our England gal here yet? She was saying that she was going to come, and I said, make sure you let us know that you're here from England. Actually, I think I did see it right at the beginning. Beth sent a super chat already. What a doll. Thank you so much, Beth. I appreciate you. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is popping up on the screen. There we go. Who was it? I can't remember. It'll come up again. I'll look at it. So the chat didn't show up last time, and I don't know why. But I went through some different steps this time, and I believe last time I just had my pop-out chat, and I didn't have, this isn't going to mean anything to you, but I can see chats in 2 different places, and in the one place which is a pop out from the actual YouTube, is what I can click on to get it to appear on the screen. The chat in my software, where my video program is, I think last time there was no chat there. It was only in the pop-up. So that might be why the chat didn't record. And if you weren't here last week, the reason why there was no chat in the previous ones was because I was being kind and going through and editing and taking out all the pauses when I'm just staring at the screen like this, reading through the chats to find something to click on. And I thought, well, this is terrible to watch. Who wants to watch this? So I was cutting out all those pauses. And if you cut out and edit any of it, it takes away all the chat. So now I know. If I put my foot in my mouth, if I pause for a long period of time, it's going to show up anyway. All that time at the beginning of the video, I'm just going to have to put a disclaimer in the chat at the bottom because it was recording the entire half hour apparently before I actually went live. That's all going to be in there because if I cut out that 30 minutes of blank time, then you're not going to be able to see the chat, and it's going to be fun to go back. I couldn't even go back and watch it. Like, it was gone, so I felt bad that I couldn't go back and rewatch. I do want to shout out, though. Oh, I wonder if it'll come to me. There's somebody who threw out a super chat at the very, very end, like right as I was saying goodbye to everybody, so I didn't get a chance to acknowledge you. But let me see if I can look up really quick and see if I can see it in my channel. Let me see if I can pull up old chats. Probably here and here. I think it was Dana. Dana, you sent a chat at the very end and I didn't acknowledge you at all because I didn't see it, so I'm sorry. There's so much going on in chat and you guys talking, and I can't read every word of it, or you'll just see me sitting here staring at the screen at everybody. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be able to go back, and if anybody's watching this on the recorded version after Thursday night, you'll be able to see the chat too. And if you can't, I'm back to square one, trying to figure out why. I don't know. All right, so thank you very much. All right. Live and learn. That's right, Lori. Live and learn, right? We all give each other some grace here. All right. We are going to start chapter 2 today. This book is so old. Look how, I guess on the screen, because this light is so bright, it doesn't look that yellow. To me, this looks incredibly yellow. My goodness. All right. Mary is here. Hi, Mary. Bestie, you're so sweet. Bless you, Mary. Bless you, bless you, bless you. I appreciate you. I think, Mary, aren't you the one that sent me that super thanks too? I don't have a way to go back and see the super thanks until I can go back and see where they were, wherever you posted it. For some reason, it doesn't show up in my back office, but I did send you a note back, so thank you very much for that super thanks. And Mary, if it wasn't you, thank you so much for this super chat, and whoever it was that sent me the super thanks. I've written you back, and I thought it was Mary, but I will definitely shout you out next time because I think it's going to take me too long to find it in here. Whiskey River, good to see you, and thank you for the super chat too. I appreciate you so much. Today, we are talking chapter 2, Janelle and Cody. Is Cody in every chapter? It seems like Cody did the prologue. We have Christine and Cody, Janelle and Cody. We just had Mary and Cody. I mean, for the title to be Becoming Sister Wives, this sure has a lot of Cody in it. He has really inserted himself. All right. Let me move this out of the way. Pull this back up. All right. It was Mary T. Is Mary T. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, first of all, let me just point out Whiskey River's your first super on a live stream. Awesome. Welcome. Thank you for figuring it out and sending it to me. I appreciate you. And Lynn Skinner. Thank you so much. Thank you for moderating, and thank you for the super chat too. I appreciate you. Y'all are so kind. And I'm definitely going to make a list if I miss anybody while I'm talking and I just kind of scroll back and I don't see it. I will definitely shout you out next time because I 100% appreciate you. It's not necessary, really, people. It's not necessary, but I'm humbly grateful. Really. Okay, Janelle. Here we go. Janelle writes, I grew up in Bountiful, Utah, and was raised in the LDS faith. My mother had met some Mormon missionaries while in college, and after she graduated, having converted to Mormonism, she moved to Utah to be with others of her faith. My father died when I was 2 years old, and my mother remarried, but my stepfather was not a hands-on father. He was distant and emotionally unavailable. Eventually, my mother divorced him. I knew when I got married, excuse me, and had children of my own that I would look for a man who would be intimately engaged in every aspect of our children's lives. Oh, wow. That's kind of heavy, isn't it? In light of everything that's gone on. And he was really engaged when they were small. Like, she looked for someone who liked little kids, basically. She didn't realize that when they grew up that she wasn't going to be quite as, or he wasn't going to be quite as affectionate and loving and accepting of them. Oh, I wonder if there's going to be more hard stuff, this being Janelle's chapter. People, this is going to be a rough year, isn't it? It's going to be a rough year. This stuff's going to keep popping up and red flags, which, side note also, I don't know if you saw in one of my recent videos. Oh, as I'm looking up, I see that there's a super chat here. Dee Dee, thank you. I appreciate you, Dee Dee. And that is so cute. I love the little stickers that go along with it. Thank you. I appreciate your super chat. What was I going to say? Shoot. I'm so old. Oh, I went to my woman's health doctor today, and I was so bad. I hadn't gone back and seen her in 3 years. Really, it's been 2 years because I went back, but she was having knee surgery, so I saw her nurse practitioner. And then I hadn't gone back for 2 years, and oh my goodness, this lady is so intense. She's like, hi, I haven't seen you in years. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then she's like, well, you know what? I'm a woman's health doctor, and I am all about aging gracefully because we're all going to age. We're all going to die. And you can do it gracefully or you can suffer the way through it. So what do you prefer? I'm like, I prefer the former. She was so intense. She was intense the last time I saw her. Like, literally, I remember laughing, and I had the mask on it. That was 3 years ago. You had to still wear a mask in medical facilities at the time. And I remember having a mask on and thinking, I'm on the verge of I don't know if I'm going to cry or this is hysterical. So I tried to err on the side of hysterical because I thought it would be inappropriate to cry in front of her when she kept scolding me for everything I did wrong in my life. But she has a big heart. She truly loves her job and she loves helping women. So I knew it was coming from a good place. And she is so pretty and has a very kind voice. So the words are biting, but her delivery is lovely. So anyway, why did I start telling this? Oh, because I'm losing my mind. So I'm not going to age gracefully if I don't listen to all the things. And I got scolded, all kinds of things that I haven't done right in the past 3 years. So, and now I have to go back in 3 months. So I told my husband, I'm like, we have to get a living will in 3 months. I was supposed to get it done 3 years ago. We still don't have a living will. We need to get one. That's on the list of things I have to do. Okay. You're all going to watch me age gracefully here because I'm going to be on top of it now. This woman's not going to let me slip again, or she's probably going to kick me out of her practice and say, find another doctor that doesn't mind if you don't show up and listen to her. So she really is, she comes from a great place, and the advice she gives is amazing. And she's right about everything that she's saying. But you know what I think it is? She talks very, very fast too, because she has lots of people that she sees. So she's kind of like, and I'm not that way, I'm just like, oh, a little more. I don't want to hurt people's feelings and all that. And she didn't care if she hurt your feelings. She can tell you the way it is, as she should. She's a doctor. I went there to get medical advice. I got great medical advice from her, and she's right. All the things that I didn't do that I was supposed to do, I should have done. So I'm pulling it together. This is a year of me pulling it together. All right. I say that to say that I told her I'm a little concerned that every now and then I find myself in a room going, how'd I get here? All right. German Shepherd lady, thank you for the super chat. That's very sweet of you. Okay, let's continue. This is, again, for people who are just joining, Janelle speaking. One of the things instilled in you if you grow up LDS is that you are living the only true faith. Nothing else will get you to eternal exaltation. Wow, I don't know if I knew that. I mean, I know in general Christians believe that Jesus is the path to salvation. But this is if you don't believe in the Mormon faith. So it's like Jesus plus. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense why they always go out and try to grow the church too, right? If you really believe everybody's going to hell besides. But I don't think they believe that, now that I'm thinking about it. I thought that Mormons believe that there's 3 tiers of heaven. Maybe they mean the highest level. Eternal exaltation. So maybe that's the highest level. Because I thought that the lowest level is just kind of everybody, unless you're a murderer or somebody, gets into the basic level of heaven. And then those who are Christ followers and good people and all that get to the next level. And then those who are really good followers, or maybe, I don't know. Anyone who's Mormon in this chat can tell me about the different levels. So I don't think that they think nobody's going to heaven. In fact, I really thought that it was actually broader, that even people who didn't believe in the Gospels still would go, but be in a lower level of heaven. Okay. Here I am rambling when I don't really have the answers, so let me read. Okay. Toward the end of high school, Janelle writes, I met a student named Adam, with whom I was quite taken. That sounds so cute. I can't imagine Janelle smitten. I knew he wasn't Mormon, which meant we had no hope of being together unless he converted. I called my grandmother and told her about the boy that I had a crush on. She recognized his name and remembered that his family had at one time lived next door to her. Oh, what a small world. Well, I think the Mormon community is a small world. They're in the Klan, my grandmother told me. Many of my relatives are still down south, and to Southerners, there is only one Klan, the Ku Klux Klan. I was shocked. I told my grandmother so. My reaction made her laugh. They're not in that Klan, my grandmother explained. They're polygamists. Until my grandmother told me this, I had no idea polygamists actually existed, let alone lived among us. I had grown up in the LDS Church of Utah, but I was unaware that there was such a thing as polygamy. I thought it was a myth or something from the early days of Mormonism, an old-fashioned tradition that had long since been abandoned. I would have believed that exact same thing had there been no TLC. They've done so many programs on polygamy and fundamentalism, and I guess television in general, because there was the whole Warren Jeffs stuff was all over the news. So that was proof that polygamy still existed. I honestly, before Sister Wives though, did not think there was people who dressed normally who were still polygamists. I really thought they were these prairie dress, big puffy hair people who were, and guys had multiple wives. The more the better. So that was a surprise to me. Did you all know that before Sister Wives? I think that's partly what drew me in to want to watch the show, was that in the previews, they had people in normal clothes in that, and they said that they were polygamous, and we had gone through the whole Warren Jeffs thing already, and so they didn't match for me. All right. Oh, I see Aaliyah's here. Hi, Aaliyah. Aaliyah wrote me a whole paragraph of suggestions for what to do for the video on Robin and her lies. Thank you, Aaliyah. All right, let me continue. Adam was not completely committed to his fundamentalist faith, and I was happy to welcome him to the LDS Church. Not long after he converted, we began courting. Soon we were married in the temple, but my husband wasn't really interested in either his new faith or the branch of fundamentalism that he had been raised in. In fact, he had very little spiritual conviction. His family, however, fascinated me. I didn't know we had information in this book about her first husband, his name and all that stuff. This is going to be an education for me reading this book, people. His family, however, fascinated me. I would tell my friends, my in-laws are polygamists. I was proud to know people in a subculture. They were a novelty. One of the reasons I was so transfixed by Adam's relatives was that they are so outwardly normal. In fact, they were completely conventional and contemporary. They didn't live behind closed doors or practice any strange customs. See, me and Janelle, we're on the same wavelength. If I were to read this ahead of time, maybe I would comment less about things that are actually going to appear in the book. Sorry about that, people. They worked, they participated in the community, they sent their kids to local schools. My in-laws didn't dress strangely, as some fundamentalist sects did. The women were strong and independent and had an equal say in family affairs with their husbands. If only I'd been as enamored with my husband as I was with his family. Unfortunately, Adam and I had problems right from the start. We weren't spiritually, emotionally, or romantically compatible. We lived together for only 6 months before he moved out. Wait, people. Is Adam Mary's brother? Okay, write it in the chat. I know there's a little bit of a delay here. I kind of scroll back and make sure that I didn't miss anything. Because wasn't Janelle married to Mary's brother? So is that who we're talking about here? Is that who Adam is? And he wasn't really into the faith, and so that is why the divorce happened. We weren't spiritually, emotionally, or romantically compatible. I'm not quite sure why she married him. Mary T says yes. Okay. All right. I think so. Yes. Mace says yes. Okay. Gotcha. You know, she should lead with that. It's kind of important information. Does she even mention it's Mary's brother? Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. 6 months before he moved out. That is not long at all. Although my husband and I had separated, I remained close to his family, including Adam's sister Mary. Okay, people, I swear to God. It's like I'm a fortune teller. What's going to come? Foreseeing the future word. I have not read this. All right. Okay, including Adam's sister, Mary. Little did I know how close we would eventually become. At first, I have to admit, it was the novelty that drew me to them. But then I began to feel emotionally invested in them. I enjoyed their large gatherings and the complex and generous notion of family that they presented. At the time, Adam's father had 4 wives and too many children to count. Some were adults, like my husband, and some were still in elementary school. Adam's parents went out of their way to include me in their events and to make me feel welcome in their lives. Their group was close-knit and inviting. Even though I was still a member of the LDS Church, I was always welcome to attend their religious gatherings. I wonder if anyone else left their polygamous sect to become LDS. So Mary's brother, or did Mary's brother ever go back to that church, or did he stay LDS? Well, it doesn't sound like he was even very LDS. It looks like he didn't have much faith at all. Okay, sorry, thinking out loud. I'll continue. One evening, they invited me to a fireside presentation, which is an informal spiritual get-together. My ex-husband's sister Mary was there. Since I had married her brother, I was friendly with Mary. I knew that she was dating a young man, Cody Brown, with whom she was clearly smitten. Although Mary talked about Cody a great deal, I had never met him. Okay, let's talk. Somebody had written in my comments, at least one person, that they thought Janelle left Mary's brother to be with Cody. I don't know where there's documentation of that, because if you believe the book, if you believe what Janelle's writing, and I feel like out of all the people, hers is probably the closest to being truth. She hadn't even met him at the time. And she said that, I don't think she would put this in the book because there would be backlash if it were untrue. The fact that he left her 6 months. He moved out 6 months into their marriage. So I would find it hard to believe that she married somebody and 6 months later left him for another guy that she was kind of interested in. So I'm believing this. I don't know about you, but I'm believing this right now. I don't think that Cody was her reason for leaving Mary's brother. Okay, maybe I'm naive. I don't know. That evening when Cody walked into the house to join the party, the strangest feeling washed over me. I felt as if I had forgotten something and suddenly remembered it. It was a feeling of relief and recognition. But I was in the middle of a horrible divorce, and I had no idea how to handle the sensation Cody's entrance conjured in me. So I packed it away and made a mental note to deal with it later. All right, so she was still in the middle. Of course, divorces do take a long time. And this was a legal divorce, so they can take up to a year. But don't you find it interesting that his family kept inviting her to things? That's so interesting to me. I guess because he left her? She said he moved out. She may have kicked him out. We don't know, do we? If we know anything, let me know. I don't know if we know anything. All right. Lynn, that's funny. I wonder how much Cody vetted Janelle. Did she leave a good man? That's true, right? I know. Cody. His is coming up. We have a couple paragraphs and his is coming up on the next page. Okay. Where are we? My divorce was not yet finalized, so I still attended certain functions with my estranged husband. Honest to God, people, I need to just keep reading and not commenting. I apologize. I sit here and wonder these things, and then the book talks about it. My divorce was not yet finalized, so I attended certain functions. But she was going through a divorce, so why would she still... I know she wanted to still be around the family because she really liked the family, but I'm surprised that they're in the process of a divorce and the family kept saying, come on over. I wonder if they would keep saying, come on over after the divorce was finalized. I don't know. Now the timeline feels weird to me. Now I'm starting to question things. Oh my goodness. All right. One of these was Mary and Cody's wedding. If you look at their wedding pictures, you will see me and my ex-husband in several of the photos. Cody and Mary made a wonderful couple. They were so young and so much in love. They were like teenagers, silly and goofy. At their wedding, I never imagined that one day I'd join their family. In fact, I hadn't yet considered converting to their faith. A little more than a year after my own wedding, my divorce was finalized. My husband lost touch with me and spent very little time with his family. But I grew closer to my former in-laws. I entered their family by marriage and stayed when the marriage was over. Well, that's kind of sweet. She did get another second family, but very interesting. Very interesting. And has anyone seen the photos? I wonder if they're in the book here, because there are some photos. Did she appear as if she was a couple as she was going through the divorce? Let me see. Here's individual wedding shots. I don't think so. No. If anyone's seen the picture, let me know. Did they make it look like the two of them were still together? Which would make you then maybe question Janelle's story? Or were they just both in the picture? Although they may have stood next to each other anyway. Lots of questions going through my mind. Lots of questions. Okay. We now have Cody. Yay. Here we go. Why would Mary be okay with her brother's ex marrying your husband and becoming your sister wife? Weird. Yeah, absolutely. Kind of strange. Okay. Thank you. Let's start Cody. If you haven't had a chance to hit the like button, do so right now. If you just found our live chat and you haven't subscribed, do that too. It's free. Nothing's free these days. Everything that used to be free has been taken away since 2020. This is free. Hit like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Cody. Even when Mary and I were newlyweds, entering the principle of plural marriage was always in the back of our minds. I had a sense in my heart that this was something I needed to do when I was young. I had seen older men marrying women who had children by their first husbands. I didn't think that I should or could bring other people's children into my life and merge my family with someone else's. At the time, I felt this would be disruptive to the children and uncomfortable for the ex-husband. Well, he was right about the disruptiveness to the children. Probably uncomfortable to the ex-husband. We just don't really know. But how about uncomfortable to the other wives, too? That you're bringing somebody in who's had children with somebody else and who's been intimate with somebody else. And does that mean they're going to be intimate sooner with Cody? Because now you have two adults who have had sexual relationships with people getting together for 10 months. Do we really believe that nothing happened between Cody and Robin before they got married? I do not think they were pure. I don't. Especially that little comment she made that one time about when they finally sold that white Audi ridiculous 2-door convertible car that he had. Completely impractical for a man who has 13 children. I don't care if it was a sale. So it was a sale. It was a good deal. There were other cars that were sales and good deals too. Probably some great minivans that he just didn't look at. Anywho, I think that comment that Robin made about how there's a lot of good memories in that car was telling. I think there's a lot of memories that really we don't want to know details on. All right. Yep, you all think that they were, yeah, I don't believe nothing happened that whole time. I really don't. All right, let's continue. After Mary and I were married, Janelle was often on the periphery of our lives. We both knew that Janelle had endured a rough period during her short-lived marriage, and we wanted to make sure she remained close with Mary's family despite the divorce. We, as well as Mary's parents, were looking out for Janelle purely because we cared about her. There was never any thought in my mind or in Mary's of Janelle becoming a wife. Okay. Interesting. Wonder why they felt they needed to look out for her, because Janelle still had her mom. Wonder why they felt like they needed to look out for her. Or Cody is saying that anyway. And we know there's so many lies in this book. Okay. Mary and I often invited Janelle out for pizza or a movie. The women had developed a friendship of their own, independent of Mary's brother. And through Mary, I got to know Janelle. Period. Sorry. Our friendship was entirely platonic, but I recognized Janelle's intelligence and conversation always flowed easily between us. Janelle has always been career-minded. This is when he starts getting attracted to her. Oh, you like to work, you say? You like to bring in the money. Come sit by me. Let's talk. When I first met her, she worked in marketing communications, but then she switched to human resources as at an employment agency. I always seemed to be working transitory jobs, i.e., I'm unemployed, searching for work, and it never really works out because I can't get there on time. I'm too haphazard. I'm scatterbrained. I can't hold down a job. Okay. Mary and I were still living in our carefree existence and hadn't settled on a logical career path. I.e., both Cody and Robin were unemployed and trying to figure out how to make ends meet. Suddenly, Janelle, with her full-time good job, is looking better and better and better. This is all falling together for me. The pieces are coming together, aren't they? Okay. After Mary and I had been married for 3 months, I went looking for a new job. 3 months it took them to find... 3 months. Because they quit their jobs when they got married. Remember, we read that in the last chapter. They just decided to go with the wind and quit their jobs because they weren't happy with them and figure out how to make ends meet. And they only had minimum wage jobs anyway, so they could really get anything. But he went 3 months. Oh my goodness. I don't know why things shock me anymore. They shouldn't shock me anymore. Should not shock me. When somebody keeps acting the same way, I'm reading a book called Unoffendable right now. And it basically keeps stating, why are people shocked by other people when they're doing the same thing they always do? And I'm like, this is so Cody Brown to me. I keep getting shocked. Why am I shocked? This is who he is. This is his pattern. Okay. I went to the employment agency where Janelle worked. She helped me out, first with a few part-time positions. A few. This one didn't work out. This one didn't work out. This one didn't work out. Oh, here's another part-time job that maybe you can hold. And eventually, with a full-time job in sales. One afternoon, I had to stop by Janelle's office to pick up a check. I passed by her desk to say hello. A quick hello turned into a long conversation. Janelle, see, here's the problem, Cody. Can I just say, you can't stop at Janelle's desk and turn it into a long conversation. This is how you're losing all your jobs. This is not appropriate behavior. You don't sit there and talk to people at a long conversation when they're trying to work. Ay, ay, ay. Janelle was very forthcoming about her life. She complained about the guys she was dating, about how immature and unsatisfactory they were. Immediately, a thought popped into my head. Janelle should marry a guy like me. Oh my gosh, there should be a warning before that says wait for it. Oh my goodness. Janelle should marry a guy like me. Because I am a narcissist with a capital N. Jiminy Christmas, that's great. Okay, let's see here. Pull it back together, Jenny. I thought I was the perfect... I thought I was the perfect solution to Janelle's problem. Oh my word. Back then, I was young and arrogant. I was also naive. Check. There's so much more. Continue. He stops there. I thought that I was everything Janelle was looking for. Oh my word. He took the time to put those thoughts to paper. Read it over. Know that people are going to read this. And submit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Who's the one that said, "Be prepared, Jenny"? Get ready. You're right. I did not expect that in this chapter. Okay. Back to Cody. A few months later, Mary and I were getting ready to move from Utah to Wyoming to be close to my family. Mary, Janelle, and I had spent some time together and gotten to know one another even better. In fact, Mary and I were even renting Janelle's old house for a while. I wonder, they were renting Janelle's old house. So would that be like the house that Janelle and her mom lived in? Do you think? He's still arrogant. That just popped up. I had to click on it. Yeah, he is. Things have not changed. They have not changed. All right. Do you think Janelle had bought a house in her own name and then used it as a rental property and then moved on and had another house? I mean, was she that established? Or is this the house that Janelle and her mom lived in? I told everyone we would need that cloak, Lori, so you're the one that warned me, Lori. Yes. Whew. Okay. If anyone has details on the house situation, I don't know that we do. This is something that probably we could go back into the archives of that crystal ball girl, because she likes to dig into court records and transfer property records and everything like that. At least she used to. I don't know. I don't. She went off camera and I stopped watching. Okay. I wanted to see Janelle once more before we moved away, so I invited her to lunch with me. What? Inappropriate. There's no talk of Mary here. He just invited her out because he wanted to see her again? I wanted to see Janelle once more before we moved away, so I invited her to lunch with me. Oh, here we go. I'm so sorry. If I would just read on. Technically, it's inappropriate. Yeah, yes. For a married man to have lunch alone with another woman. Yes, it is even outside your faith. But within your faith, it's supposed to be the women who find the people, or together as a couple. You are not supposed to take her out. But Janelle and I were friends. No, Janelle was friends with Mary. And then Mary ended up marrying you. She's Mary's friend. She's your pseudo friend or acquaintance by marriage. No, I am sorry. My husband knows all of my girlfriends, but God forbid he go out to lunch with one of them on their own. No way. No, this is wildly inappropriate. Technically, it's inappropriate. Technically, it is inappropriate. End of story. There was no there was no thought of courting, so lunch was purely platonic. Liar, lies, 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 lies. Oh, I don't believe a word of that. Not a word. But during that lunch, the same thought that I'd had a few months earlier in Janelle's office crossed my mind. There was something between Janelle and me. I can't believe he's admitting all this. So he's here. He didn't really say there was a spark before. He just said he talked to her for a long time, right? Which was just inappropriate because you're taking up all her time when she's supposed to be working. But here he's admitting that there was a spark back then. The same thought that I had a few months earlier in her office crossed my mind. The same thought crossed my mind. There was something between Janelle and me. So months earlier, there was a spark between he and Janelle. He's attracted to her probably because she had her own office and she's making all this money. And he's like, man, you're looking better to me every day. And then takes her out by himself without Mary to lunch. And one sentence before claims it's perfectly fine. We were just friends, no thought of courting. It was purely platonic. We go one line later, he goes on to say, the same thought I had a few months earlier in Janelle's office crossed my mind. Talk about contradicting yourself in the next line. Purely platonic. But while I took her out to lunch, the same thought that I had months ago came back. Oh, not right. Not right. Aaliyah. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for doing this each week with us, Jenny. I sure need the laughs. We appreciate you. I appreciate you, Aaliyah. You always make me laugh too, and all your comments that you leave on my videos. So thank you. That is a very generous super chat. I appreciate you, Aaliyah. Thank you. I hope I pronounced your name right. In my head, that's how I pronounce it when I read it, Aaliyah. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. Whenever I see your name, I always think it's Aaliyah. Okay. Yeah, this is insane. This is insane. I did not think that anything this blatant would be in here, and I didn't think lies one sentence later would contradict, he would contradict himself that much. Okay. He goes on to say, I was a married man, so I had to be careful with my words. He knows he's wrong in all of this. I gotta be careful how I step around this because my wife's not here. Oh, my word. I tried to be as offhand as possible when I said to Janelle, maybe you and I should consider you and me. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. I cannot believe that these like 5 sentences together are blowing my mind. Maybe you and I should consider you and me. Just like that, in this private... Oh, if this is what he did with Janelle at the beginning... Can you imagine what went down between he and Robin? I mean... Dog doesn't change its spots. Is that the right phrase? A dog doesn't change its spots? Animals don't? What is the animal that doesn't change its spots? Senior brain. That doesn't sound right, dog. I feel like there's something else. I'll be glancing up here. Doesn't really matter. I'll go on. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Okay, that's the end of his. He left it right there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm shook. I'm shook. Okay. Leopard. Thank you. A leopard doesn't change a spot. Nor do dogs. But not all dogs have spots. Leopards all have spots. Okay. Very good. It's the characteristic of being a leopard is to have spots. Thank you all very much. And a zebra doesn't change his stripes. That's right, Hypercactus. Absolutely right. All right. Janelle is now talking. All right, I'm interested to hear her perspective on this. All right. I completely rebuffed Cody's suggestion. Go, Janelle. I was shocked and I laughed it off. Oh, I wish I was there. I want to be there. Oh, his ego had been so bruised. So bruised. All right. I didn't even give it a second thought. But when I returned to the office that afternoon, my coworkers were suspicious. They wanted to know who the cute man was who'd taken me to lunch. He went and took her to lunch? They didn't meet for lunch? He went to her work at lunchtime and then took her out to... I can't. This is so inappropriate. This is so wrong. On so many levels. Oh my goodness. I thought they were just meeting for lunch. I didn't realize he was taking her to lunch. Okay. They wanted to know who the cute man was who had taken me to lunch. I've heard that people in the office said I was glowing, but this seemed a little exaggerated. A few months after Cody and Mary had moved to Montana, Cody told me they were going to be returning to his dad's ranch in Wyoming for the weekend, so I decided to visit as well. Oh, I thought they were moving to Wyoming. Were they moving to Montana this whole time? A few months later, Mary and I were getting ready to move from Utah to Wyoming to be closer to my family, is what Cody wrote. And then here it says a few months after Cody and Mary had moved to Montana, Cody told me they were going to be returning to his dad's ranch in Wyoming for the weekend, so I decided to visit as well. You know what? Sometimes these stories just don't match, do they? There's no mention of Montana, but maybe he went there temporarily? Why would he go to Montana when his intent was to go to Wyoming? I don't know. All right, so she went to visit. This is very much mirroring the Mary situation, right? He was back at the ranch and invited Mary to come visit up at the ranch in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. Let's see what happens. When I called my mother and told her I was going to spend a few days with a polygamous family, she became alarmed. Understandably. Good mama. Unfortunately, many members of the LDS Church harbor a deep mistrust of polygamy. Mormons are taught from a young age that fundamentalism is backward and sinful. I guess my mother was worried that I was going to be converted, swept away into some sort of cult, and never heard from again. Although it was clear that my mom didn't want me to go to Wyoming, she knew me well enough not to tell me not to do something. Had she tried to prevent me from visiting Cody and Mary, I would have left the moment I hung up the phone. Okay, so she is not living with her mom right now. And obviously her mom is living somewhere. So this leads me to believe that that Janelle literally had purchased another home, another property, and then rented it out and had another home. Man, Mary, why do I keep saying Mary? Janelle she had money, didn't she? I mean, if you're reading between the lines, she had a good full-time job. She had worked her way up into human resources. She owned properties, multiple. Oh, run. And her mom was living somewhere else, so she called her up. Okay. Ever since my mother divorced my stepfather, she had developed an independent and free spirit. She followed her own path at her own speed. So when I told her I was going to visit Mary and Cody, she told me that she was coming along for the weekend. Part of her wanted to meet a polygamous family and see what they were like, and part of her wanted to protect me from them. Yeah, I would do the same thing. If my daughter, I'm like, can I come? Yeah, I would. Mama's tagging along for the ride. All right. Gosh, what would you say if your kids said that they were going into, especially your daughters, what would you say if you had a daughter who said she was going to join a polygamous community? I would be so worried and concerned. It would just break my heart knowing how her heart's going to be broken. Oh, I can't even imagine. Okay. Janelle goes on and says, well, let's just say the trip had an unexpected development. When Cody's father, Wynn, arrived and met my mother, they had instant chemistry. Wynn already had 2 wives, but he and my mom began courting. And not long after our trip to Wyoming, they were married. She was a free spirit. When I returned to Utah, I began to explore the polygamous faith. There was something in the doctrine that intrigued me. All the men who'd I'd met in the faith had character. He's a character, all right. Okay. In addition to this, I discovered that the women were amazingly strong. It became immediately apparent to me that when you choose to follow a countercultural path, you have to learn to be independent. In other words, when you choose an alternative lifestyle, one that is denigrated by the public, it develops your character. You either wash out or you stand up. That's an interesting phrase. Once I came to this conclusion, I started to believe that there was something for me in fundamentalism. As I was investigating the faith, I started studying the doctrines and principles of Mary and Cody's group, as well as talking to a lot of members of their church. I decided to pay another visit to Mary and Cody, who were now living in Montana. Okay. Why are they in Montana? Remind me again? Because Cody said he was on his way to Wyoming. Why are they in Montana? Okay. When I went up to Montana, I brought the man I was seeing at the time. Despite dating a member of the LDS faith, a conventional Mormon, I couldn't suppress my interest in fundamentalism. During that visit to Montana, I progressed from a curiosity to a calling. All right, so she didn't feel called. She decided to visit Mary and Cody. This is after Cody propositioned her, and she dismissed him. And then she decided to go visit him at his ranch where his father was in Wyoming. Mama comes along with her. Mama falls in love with his dad. They get married. I mean, shortly afterwards, right? Because in the order of this, she didn't say... Not long after our trip, they were married. So then she comes back, is working, and then decides to go visit them at their place in Montana. How did they ever get a job in Montana without Janelle? How did Cody find employment in Montana? That's what I want to know. This is very interesting to me. Very interesting. And then when she decided to go to Montana, she brought a boyfriend along with her. So do you think that it was like a beard kind of situation? That like she was interested in Cody But she's bringing this guy because then it doesn't look like she doesn't seem like she's as forthright. So if I bring a dude with me, then it doesn't look like I'm interested in him. So she can more objectively still figure out the situation and if she's interested in joining them in a plural marriage. I mean, there is no word here about, there is nothing here about I'm sorry, I started reading something and now I got distracted. What is there nothing about? I'm still losing my brain. If I follow my doctor's prescriptions, maybe my brain would come back. I know what there was nothing that it was talking about. It's not talking anything about Mary reaching out to Janelle at all. She never mentioned once that Mary said, come on out here and come visit us. I wonder if Mary knew at this point. She probably knew after the fact later on, but do you think she knew at this point that Cody had taken Janelle out for lunch privately and insinuated that he wanted her to join them in the faith? Yeah, I wonder. Okay. We're back to Cody. Yay! Luckily it's short. When Janelle showed up in Montana, where I was unemployed, no, it doesn't say that. She had a guy in tow. I knew she was hoping that a real relationship would develop between them, but I guess I was starting to wish for the opposite to happen. It may be ungenerous to say, but I hope their relationship would fizzle. What a great guy. He knew she was hoping to have a real relationship with this guy. And then he comes out and says, and I hope that that relationship would fizzle. Okay. Does anyone know how long at this point he had been married to Mary? Because this all seems like it's moving very fast, but I don't know if that's just because we're clipping along here. I'd love to have an actual timeline. When I saw Janelle and her boyfriend, I couldn't stop wondering why she was sabotaging herself. Oh man, he thinks the world of himself. Don't get me wrong, the boyfriend was an awesome guy. But I had a sense that Janelle and I shared a destiny. He knew Janelle wanted a relationship with this man. He admits this man was an awesome guy. Obviously, he vetted him. And then he said that he shared a destiny with her, though. He is like pursuing her. He really is. The minute I met Janelle's date, I said to Mary, she's getting in her own way. She doesn't want to let herself have what she truly wants, so she's dating another guy. And then he goes on to say, I'm not sure Mary quite understood what I was hinting at. So he hasn't been talking about his feelings towards Janelle to Mary at all. This has all been him on the sly doing all of this. So wrong. This is the first instance of them bringing in another wife, and this is how he went about it? Private dates on the side, being attracted to her, not telling his wife about it? Oh my goodness. What a terrible foundation. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We are not going to have this kind of honesty, I know, when he gets to the Robin chapter. There can be no way, when he talks about meeting Robin, that we're going to get full disclosure like we're getting here. No way. Because if this happened with Janelle, can you imagine? I mean, I said it already. So much went down with Robin. All right. Let's see. Cody and Mary were married on 4/21/90, which is your anniversary. He and Janelle got married in 93 and Christine in 94. So he was already married. It was only 3 years later. So this is clipping along. This is clipping along. Absolutely. Very interesting. Very interesting. Gosh. Sorry, people. Hope that wasn't loud. Mary didn't quite understand what I was hinting at. Well, yeah, and why is he just hinting? Why isn't he coming out and saying what he really thinks? I can't believe it. Oh, John, you're back. God bless our polygamous women. All right. Thank you, John. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know why he's trying to hint to Mary that this is going on when all this has been going down in him for this amount of time. All right, let's go on. Maybe he explains it. I couldn't shake my spiritual awareness that Janelle and I would one day marry. I am not sure exactly when this insight came to me. It wasn't born out of the same conventional romantic attraction I had for Mary. It was a different feeling entirely. Agreed. One that had more to do with spirituality and intellectual compatibility and intellectual compatibility, romantic love. Wait, I gotta read that again. It was a different feeling entirely. One that had more to do with spirituality and intellectual compatibility. I'm sorry. It's a hyphenated word at the end of the thing. Compatibility, romantic love. It still doesn't make sense. One that had to do with spirituality, intellectual compatibility, romantic love. It had to do with intellectual compatibility, romantic love. However, I couldn't help notice that in addition to her first-rate mind, I found her extremely attractive. Since I couldn't shake the awareness that we would share a future, I was confounded by the fact that Janelle brought a date when she came to visit. I was certain that she was doing this to keep herself at a distance from me. Oh, that was one of the things I was wondering. In essence, I think she was testing both of our resolves. I would love to know what was in Janelle's head. Did she really like this guy? And was this a really great guy? Was she just bringing him there to protect herself, to keep Cody from making another advance so it didn't seem like she was putting herself into an awkward situation? I don't know. But she did have an intellectual compatibility romantic love. It sounds like an AI generated reading something. Intellectual compatibility romantic love. Intellectual compatibility romantic love. Okay, it's Janelle's turn. This will make more sense. When I left Montana, I was inspired but confused. I was attracted to the fundamentalist Mormon religion, and I was starting to think Cody might be the right person for me. For the first time, I allowed myself the luxury of admitting that I was interested in Cody. Not in a gushy romantic way, but because he was emblematic of all the things that attracted me to his faith. I guess that means like a representative of it, like an emblem of it. But still, I was nervous. Converting to fundamentalism meant leaving my own faith. I needed time to think things through. I wanted to do some self-exploration. I was only 22. Oh, that's a baby. But I'd already been through a divorce. That's true. I wanted to get in touch with my own spirituality and my own ideals before making any major decisions. I wanted to travel, to get away from familiar surroundings. Part of me wanted to buy a Jeep, get a dog, and drive off to Colorado and live in the mountains. That's so Janelle, isn't it? Aw, I hope she did that. I want her to do that. I want her to have that. All right. Oops. I forgot to, I don't know, just in case the chat's not here. Again, I'm going to go back and heart the super chats. I should have done that before. Scrolling. You guys are chatty tonight. Oh, okay. I know there were more. How did I miss them? Do they disappear in my pop-up screen? Sorry, guys. Sorry I'm taking up your time here. God, there were more. I don't know where they are. Maybe it only goes back so far on my pop-up screen where I can like them. That could be because it's not going all the way back. Those are the only two that are popping up. Okay. Love to you all. Hearts to everybody. Everybody who's here. All right. Okay, I just love that. Okay. Part of me wanted to buy a Jeep, get a dog, drive off to Colorado, live in the mountains. That is so... And, you know, Janelle really liked going to Flagstaff because of the mountains there. She ended up getting the cute little dog and having the dog. And, yeah. All right. Another part wanted to explore my interest in the Native American way of life, something that has fascinated me since I was a little girl. You should be able to click 3 dots and look at fan funding. Huh. That didn't work. Let me try it on this chat, on the OBS screen. Timestamps. Oh, the timestamps. Let me turn the timestamps on. I didn't know that was off. Yearning for a smile. The 3 dots at the top. Do you know if it would be at the top of the YouTube pop out or the... Let me actually just go right back to 3 dots are in the chat area. Yeah, there. When I click on the 3 dots, my only options are participants, timestamps, and send feedback. But there's 3 dots here at the top of... Let me scroll all the way up and see if that helps. At the top of my YouTube pop out, but nothing happens when I click them. I'll look into it. Let me just look on my actual live chat. Actually, here it is. It's right here. Hello, everybody. Oh. Let me know if you can see or hear me. That says nothing to see here. We popped out the chat. I wonder if that means we're not going to be able to see it on the re-record, because right now I can see it both on OBS and in the pop-out. Oh, that would really stink if... I wonder if I'm eventually going to have to just break down and pay for StreamYard. A lot of you gave me super chats. I could afford it. I could do it. Maybe that'll be the next thing I do. Now that I finally kind of sort of learned OBS, I might just buy StreamYard, because it just seems like that might be easier. This is not... OBS is free. What do you expect? Okay. All right, look at the pop-out chat, then click the down arrow. I'm in the pop-out chat. Oh, the down arrow. Oh, there it is. Look at you. Are you a YouTuber? All right. Oh, here they are, so I can like them here. Yes. Okay, thank you. I want to make sure I gave a heart to everybody. Here they all are. Thank you. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Mary T. Thank you, Whiskey River. Thank you, Lynn Skinner. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, German Shepherd Lady. Thank you, Aaliyah. Thank you, John Thomas. Okay, we're going on. It looks like we're going to talk a little bit about Native Americans now. Janelle said, I have always been involved with Native American culture on some level, whether through reading and studying or through collecting art and artifacts. I wonder if that was her inspiration for the decoration of her house in Vegas. Do you remember when they all went to like the secondhand store and they got a bunch of furniture and a bunch of stuff and they each chose a room in their house to redo? And Christine did her bedroom, Mary did her living room, Robin did her bedroom, and Janelle did a living room. And Janelle's living room was like all wall art that was like cowboys and horses and everything. She had brown leather furniture in there. She had a boot lamp. The lamp was literally a cowboy boot with the shade on top of it, the bulb and shade on top of it. Like, it was very, very cowboy. So I wonder if, although Native Americans and the cowboys didn't exactly get along, but I wonder if that's sort of her inspiration, if she likes the whole cowboy Indian type stuff. Okay. I'm kind of Native American too. No, I'm not. I take that back. My kids kind of are. My husband is, but he's like 1/16th, so my kids are like 1/32nd, so it doesn't really. Okay. Many of my friends were involved in the mountain men movement. They participated in reenactments of historical mountain men rendezvous, including spending time living in primitive housing, including teepees. They also practiced many of the crafts, such as furniture making and handiwork, typical of the late 1800s. I decided it would be a good idea to spend some time living closer to nature, as Native Americans once had. I bought a teepee and quit my job and intended to camp in my teepee for as long as I could bear it. What? That does not sound like Janelle. That sounds very non-responsible. That does not sound like Janelle at all. Oh my goodness. What? I can't believe that. I'm shocked. This is a very Cody thing to do. See, he's influencing her already, and she's not even married to him. Cody's father had lots of open space on his ranch and offered to let me camp on his land. By this time, he had married my mother. I knew that if I had got too cold in the teepee, I could retreat to a warm house where my mother would be waiting. I got to Wyoming in November. This is bizarre. I did not know this story, people. I did not. I mean, I guess a lot of you have read the book already, so you knew the story. I did not know this story. I thought like she meant she was going to go with a bunch of friends who were doing this in a certain location where there were like 50 teepees and a big thing, and it was like communal living kind of thing. I didn't know like on her own she was just going to get a teepee and live in a teepee. It's crazy. I mean, it makes the whole tenting thing make sense when her and Cody went on that date for their anniversary and she wanted to go in a tent, or she did. They went and got a tent and spent the night. So it's all matching, but this is crazy. All right. I got to Wyoming in November. Cold weather had settled in a while back, and the temperatures in Wyoming are biting and unbearable. Despite this, I was determined. It was below freezing when I got my camp set up. I didn't last a single night. Well, no, of course not. Who would? It was so cold that after only a few hours, I was back in the house. Such a Cody thing to do. Janelle, I'm so disappointed. Unbelievable. I had quit my job in Utah, so I was free to travel up to Wyoming as much as I wanted. Cody's father is a patriarchal man in the sense that he feels it is his duty and responsibility to look after the people in his family orbit. I was one of these people. He took me under his wing and made it clear that it was his intention to find me a guy. Ugh. I don't like that. Wynn's plan was to convince me to settle on Cody's brother, but I had other ideas. When I was growing up, there was an incredibly cool father in my neighborhood. Perhaps because my stepfather was so distant, I took notice of how closely this man connected to his kids. He was a lawyer, but he would ditch work to take his kids skiing. Okay, he would take days off of work, or he would ditch work? Because, again, not responsible. Not a good example. Maybe that was just poor wording. It seemed to me that every moment he was home, he was involved in some activity with one of his kids. It was clear that his children were the center of his world. I remembering thinking, how badly I wanted a dad like that. This is a chapter that is making me see Janelle in a different light. We have poor grammar. We have crazy behavior. Okay. I'd seen the way Cody interacted with children. There were always kids around the ranch, and Mary's parents' house was often filled with them. I'd seen how loving Cody was and how much fun he could be. He even made time for kids not in his own family. He was energetic and caring, always willing to get down on all fours for any game the kids dreamed up. Cody seemed like exactly the father I had in mind for my kids. More than anything, I had fallen in love with the polygamous lifestyle. I loved the idea of a sisterhood, the notion of companionship, and the possibility of a family that could grow in so many different ways. I saw so much potential in polygamy. Cody was an obvious choice for me, but not because of any conventional notion of romance. I have never, ever been someone who's interested in sappy, goo-goo-eyed chocolate flowers and sunset walks on the beach. The idea of cooing and cuddling doesn't agree with me. I'm sure there is a combination of things in my nature that makes me think this way. On the other hand, I've always been independent and happy to spend time on my own and do my own thing, so I had never felt the need to bind myself to someone on an intimate level. In addition to this, I think my early failed marriage disillusioned me somewhat, solidifying my notion of matrimony as something both pragmatic and practical. I wanted a strong husband who would be a wonderful father to my children. I always envisioned that I'd have a large number of children. I wanted a man with whom I'd have an intellectual connection, who would be happy and willing to have long discussions with me. I wanted a companion, a friend, and if I found these things in a man, I was certain intimacy would develop from that. Even though Cody was quite young, he was the most emotionally intelligent man I knew. He was leap years ahead of all the other guys his age. He was the best guy I knew in the polygamous lifestyle I'd become infatuated with. So why wouldn't I want to marry the best guy out there? Yeah. This is rough because, he did play with the kids a lot, right? Because he kind of is a kid. His maturity level is, really low. And so he would play with them, and he did with his own kids. We see in the early years on Sister Wives him playing around and doing the same thing and them jumping on his back and all that stuff. He didn't lift a finger to help any of the wives unless your name began with Rob. Other than that, it was just, I'm going to show up at your house and just play, then you feed me and we'll go to sleep at night. Oh, okay. There's so much great stuff going on in the chat, and I do not have time to just sit here in silence and read it. So I am praying that this chat is going to show up when it gets posted. Jenny, you're loving this, aren't you? Yeah, I kind of am. He really is good in entertainment in a very distorted way. Yes. Just wait until Jenny reads the comments and sees what she missed. Yes, I am praying, Lori. I am praying the comments post. Oh, I'm very nervous that I'm looking at the chat here and it's saying nothing to see here. I'm going to just click out of this and see if it pops up here. I mean, because if you can see it, then I should be able to see it in my account too. Go in. I'm going to click over. I really want you guys to be able, and I want to be able to really see the chat again. Senior perspective. Your channel. Live. I really want you guys to be able to. Oh, I do see it. Okay. Oh, fingers crossed, everybody. Say a little prayer that it's going to work and we're going to be able to see the chat afterwards, because I definitely want to read everything you guys are saying. You guys crack me up. You crack me up every time I read all of your stuff. All right, we're back to Cody again. How long is this chapter? Okay, we have a Cody and a Janelle, and then we're done. Cody. After Janelle's experiment with the teepee, she visited regularly. Mary and I were living in Montana, and Janelle sometimes stayed over at our place. One evening, after the three of us had spent the day together, just as we were getting ready for bed, Janelle made an unusual request. Mary, she said, can I have a moment alone with Cody so I can talk to him about something important? I suspected what was coming, but Janelle was going about it strangely. She was still in her cowboys and Indians phase. That night she was dressed like a cowgirl in jeans and a khaki corduroy shirt, her hair pulled into a high ponytail. I want to see Janelle with a high pony. Did she have a high pony for the 50s get together at Christine's house? I can't remember. At the time, Mary and I were living in a cabin with a giant living room and two small, unpleasant bedrooms. What's that mean? Two small, unpleasant bedrooms? What is that? Okay. Mary went to bed, leaving me and Janelle sitting on the junky furniture that I'd picked up at a yard sale. Janelle was forthcoming. I think I belong in your family, she said. I was flattered and pleased, not to mention relieved. Months earlier, I had told Mary about my interest in a relationship with Janelle. Oh, so now we know he hadn't told her this whole time. The feelings he had for her, all that stuff, he never shared when he took Janelle out. I mean, does she even know he took Janelle out? But if she did, oh, it's just your friend. Where was Mary? Because she wasn't employed. I have so many questions. I have so many questions I'm not going to get answers to. So just a couple months ago, he shared with Mary that he's interested in a relationship with Janelle. All right. So, okay, months earlier, I told Mary about my interest in a relationship with Janelle, but it was more of an impromptu suggestion than a serious proposal. So it felt proper that Janelle should make the official opening move. In many ways, it's more appropriate. Okay. In many ways, it's more appropriate. After all, I was a married man. I should not be making moves on women. That would defile my relationship with Mary. All right, can we unpack this? I'm just looking at Yearning for Smile wrote something to me. If you cannot see your chat replays, then shoot me a message. Thank you so much. I can see them now. I was on a different chat. I'm having issues with the scheduled chats not connecting from OBS to YouTube. When I click on go live, it says can't go to YouTube. So like right away, I just created a whole new one through OBS. Maybe because I'm creating them through YouTube. Maybe I need to create them all through OBS initially. That might be the problem. So I had to create a new one, and I think I had the old one open here where it said there's no chat. So I can see it now. I can see it in all three places. I can see it if I'm on my live stream here. I can see it on OBS, and I can see it in the pop-out. So we should be able to see it on the rewatch. Okay. All right, we need to unpack this. Okay. All right, so just months earlier, he told Mary about an interest in Janelle, but it was an impromptu suggestion, not a serious proposal. So it felt proper that Janelle should make the official opening move. So just months earlier, okay, he told Mary about his interest, but it was just an impromptu suggestion, meaning he's referring now, I think that what that line means, dash, but it was more of an impromptu suggestion than a serious proposal. He was just a couple months ago sharing what he said back when he took her out for lunch. I don't know how long ago it was now, because it was a couple trips back to Wyoming. She quit her job. She lived in a teepee. Things happened during all this time. And then now she's back visiting him for like a second time in Montana, and now he's sharing with Mary because just a couple months before this visit. Yeah, that's crazy. That's so wrong. That's so wrong. And then justifies it by saying it was just an impromptu suggestion rather than a serious proposal. So it felt proper that Janelle should make the official opening move. In many ways, it's more appropriate. After all, I was a married man. Yeah, but you made an impromptu suggestion. That's okay because you're a married man? Wrong. Wrong. I should not be making moves on women. Yes, and you made one. That would defile my relationship with Mary. Well, apparently Mary looked the other way. Cody goes on and says, quite often in our faith, it's the woman who approaches the family she is interested in. I think people are surprised by how often the woman makes the opening move. Can we just say, I'm sorry, I'll get back to this. Do you remember the whole dog panting thing? We want to be part of your marriage. We want to be part of it. So he was just talking about Christine then, because he was pursuing Janelle and she was saying no over and over again, bringing another guy around, laughing in his face. Her mom even marries his dad and she's still not interested. Like, that whole dog panting thing was just a diss on Christine. But I haven't read Christine's point yet. Maybe he's making it all up. I don't know. Anyway, I just had to say that because clearly Janelle has not been begging to be his wife. All right. I think people are surprised by how often the woman makes the opening move. If a woman finds a family to which she feels spiritually connected, typically she builds a relationship with the first wife or wives. Then she will tell her father, who then speaks to the father of the husband in the family. Okay, this is not the protocol we're following here, though. Now, Janelle didn't exactly play by the rules, but since my father had been involved in trying to find her a husband, it seemed appropriate enough. Because my dad wanted her to have a guy, I thought we could just throw all the rules out the window and just say, it's close enough to what we're supposed to be doing. My God, I can't even. It just shocks me that he's putting this in print. Just shocks me that he thinks this is all okay. And the boldness of saying what he's saying here means he's all fine with it. He's all okay with what he's writing. Okay. Appropriate enough. Ever since Mary and I got engaged, we had affirmed our commitment to the principle of plural marriage. There are many couples who are polygamous in belief, but live monogamously. In other words, while they believe in the principle, they don't live the principle and never take other wives into their families. Mary and I did not want to be one of those couples. We both felt that we'd been called to open our family to additional wives. We'd been married for 3 years and had 3 wonderful years of monogamy. If Mary had misgivings about Janelle, she didn't voice them to me. She seemed happy enough to welcome Janelle into our home. Back then, we were still very young and didn't have the wisdom or the vocabulary to talk about our deepest emotions. Let me just stop for a second. She seemed happy enough. Happy enough. She didn't express misgivings, and she seemed happy enough to welcome Janelle into our home. All right, back then we were still very young and didn't have the wisdom or the vocabulary to talk about our deepest emotions. So if something was troubling her, I fear she would have been unable to express it in a way that I understood. Mary and I moved back to Wyoming to get ready to bring Janelle into our family. We had to find a house that was big enough for all of us. Janelle and I were officially courting. But things were moving quickly. For various reasons, courtships for second and third wives are traditionally quite short. The most important of these is that it's neither appropriate for a married man to be spending excessive time with a woman who is not his wife, nor is it fair to the other wives to sit at home during a long courtship. Even in comparison to most plural courtships, Janelle's and mine was particularly short. We managed to go on only one date, and it wasn't much of a date. That's kind. It took place sometime after New Year's, and it was freezing cold. I had been working 15-hour shifts. Oh, he has a job. Okay. So when I finally got off work, it was late. The town where Mary and I were living in Wyoming was really small. By the time I picked Janelle up, all the restaurants were closed. So we drove around in the dark. A man who likes to just drive a car. I do not understand his obsession with getting behind the wheel. Just drive. To him, that's a date. To him, that's a honeymoon. Getting in a car and just driving. Road trip. I mean, that's like what you do when you're in college. Jump in the car and don't know where you're going, and you go, road trip, let's just go. That's what he did for a honeymoon. Okay. So, the one and only date that he had with Janelle, he did the exact same thing. By the time he got off work, the restaurants were closed. Well, he had to have known ahead of time the restaurants were going to be closed. So we just drove around in the dark. Janelle's mother had given me a ring that had been hers. I put the ring on Janelle's finger and asked her to marry me. It was more of a formality than an actual proposal. It was dark, it was late, and it was cold. Okay, so Janelle got a ring. So Mary has a ring from her first marriage, and Janelle has a ring. Does Janelle continue to wear that ring? Or did she take it off? It's off now, but during the whole ring gate, when he asked Mary for her ring back, he's not going to ask Janelle for her ring back because it was Janelle's family's ring. And Cody didn't buy it. So did she keep wearing it when Mary didn't wear hers anymore? I have lots of questions. You guys might know the answer to this. Talk amongst yourselves. 2 weeks later, we got married. We had a spiritual ceremony on another bitterly cold January night. Then we went on our honeymoon. We had no plan. We just drove and drove. Staying wherever we felt like stopping. Honestly. All three wives were the same. I didn't realize that literally all three wives had the exact same thing. Mary's kind of had a destination that weren't they going to Wyoming? So, but they didn't have plans on where they were going to stop. They didn't have hotels booked. They didn't have, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they didn't even have a destination. Okay. Oh, Janelle grew out of her ring. Okay. But you could get it sized larger. But I guess she just didn't bother to. And maybe because she knew that he asked I wonder when she grew out of it, when she stopped wearing it. And what the timeline of that was with Cody asking Mary for the ring back that she had. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay. I just can't believe that these were 3 honeymoons that he planned. I wish we had video footage of all this. That would be a great video. To just show video clips of all 3 of them on their honeymoons and where they went. And then cut to Robin's 11-day exclusive tropical San Diego resort that she stayed at. Okay, moving on. Janelle. This is the end of our chapter. I like that Janelle gets the last word. That makes me happy. Except for a brief car ride during which Cody proposed, until our honeymoon, the only time we'd been alone was when we went out to retrieve something from the cow pen on the ranch. Although I was looking forward to finally having the freedom to be alone together, it was awkward at first. Our courtship had been chaste. We only shared one kiss, and it was a very innocent one. When a man is married, it's extremely inappropriate to have any physical intimacy during a courtship, which he held to for Janelle and Christine, but... All right, so she got a peck on the lips, too. I mean, we don't know. We've never seen Cody kiss more than... I mean, we've never seen him, like, French kiss any of the wives, but that's because cameras are around, too, so... All right, during the first few days of our honeymoon, it was difficult for me to consider our relationship as a married couple. Even though we'd had the spiritual ceremony which committed us to each other in a newer, deeper way, I felt no closer to Cody than I had a week earlier. We had been friends, but now we had to learn to be husband and wife. Yeah, she's not that into him. I mean, she seemed like she wasn't that into her first husband, too. I don't know if she's making a good choice. She did take time to kind of find herself in between, but interesting. I know now that Cody and I weren't in love then. But there wasn't a moment that I didn't believe I'd made the right decision. Not just about Cody, but about my new faith. When I announced my intention to convert from LDS to fundamentalism, I was challenged by many members of my family. They believed I was not just making a mistake, but committing a sin. Nevertheless, I never once wavered in my decision to accept the beliefs of my new religion. In marrying Cody, I alienated my maternal grandparents and my paternal godmother. Or grandmother. Did I say godparents? Maternal grandparents and paternal grandmother. My sister, too, initially rebuffed me. Although it was hard for me to come to terms with my estrangement from certain members of my family, I imagined that I'd have sister wives who would, at least in part, compensate for that loss. I am sure all of this was on my mind during my honeymoon, so I felt pressure for my marriage to succeed right from the start. However, I had no idea how to go about this. Cody and I had a deep friendship, and we were completely compatible on an intellectual level. We were committed to the decision we made. Now we had to find a way to make it work. Wow, that's a sad paragraph, isn't it? It really is. All right. By the end of the honeymoon, we had arrived at a point where we felt safer with each other. But it would be many, many years into our marriage before our true love story would begin. I didn't know when I married Cody what a struggle that first year would be. I moved into the house with him and Mary and lived in their guest room. I felt like a long-term visitor, the eternal house guest instead of a wife. Mary and Cody were still very much in love, and they had no idea how to incorporate me into their lives. Oh gosh, heart-wrenching. I had no idea where I fit into the marriage. When we watched movies, they would sit on the couch and hold hands under the blanket, and I'd sit in my own chair. Oh. You know what? And the irony of how that all changed, because you remember the last Christmas in season 18 when Mary finally got invited to Christmas and she made the blankets for all the kids in that, and she said how awkward it was because he and Robin were so affectionate towards each other, and Robin kind of tried to like push him off, but he kept insisting on like rubbing her back and sit on my lap and all this stuff, and Mary said she felt like the other woman the whole time. And flash back to when she brought Janelle into the relationship, she was the one that was in love with Cody, and Janelle was like the other woman. Interesting. She finishes up by saying, I didn't feel as if I had my own place in the house. Arguments would erupt over the smallest things. The right way to fold clothes, the right way to clean the kitchen. I felt challenged and confronted on all fronts. I lost my sense of self. I would have to learn to speak up for myself and establish my own life and status within our household. It wasn't until Cody married for the third time that things would begin to settle down in our household. And that's the end of chapter 2. Wow. Yeah, that would have to be hard because that was their home that they had established. She was coming into their home. I mean, I know it's hard for people who were divorced and they have a house and they date somebody else and then they get married and that person doesn't want to move into the house that they lived with somebody else in. So that's even uncomfortable. And I even know, like, I had a girlfriend that was uncomfortable that she had a guy and he hadn't been married before, but he had bought a house and he had a house and then she got married and they moved into his house because he owned a house and she was in a smaller condo or something. I can't remember the whole details, but the point being, she was very uncomfortable in his house, even though there hadn't been another wife in there prior to her. But it was just sort of like, well, this is your bachelor pad, that you had. And she just wanted something that was theirs together. So here's Janelle showing up into this marriage, and Mary and Cody have this home and establish the rules of the house and everything. And she comes in and they're obviously in the master bedroom too. And then Janelle takes the other guest bedroom and he had the nerve to sit on the couch and hold hands under the blanket with Mary in the same time that she was in the same room. Wow. That had been heart-wrenching for Janelle. She had to have been thinking constantly, what did I do? Again, I made another bad mistake in terms of who I chose. My picker's off. I'm picking the wrong men. Wow. Okay. All right. Cody gets really excited around men. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Inappropriately. Do you remember him crying when Caleb left? When he wasn't sad at all that his daughter, Maddie, was moving across the country. He was sad that her new husband was leaving him. He's very weirdly attached to men. Let's see. To understand what Janelle said, you had to see she and Mary with a therapist, then shopping together. If I were Mary, I would have had a breakdown. Are you talking about an episode there, Lori, that was in the show? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Any man who constantly says he's an alpha male is no alpha male. Yeah. June Jam. Yes, it's heart-wrenching. Yeah, it's so sad. Yes, Anne, it's so sad, right? My goodness, people. This is a crazy story. I don't even know how many chapters there are. How long is this going to take us to get through? Oh, my. 16? That might take us right up to when the new season begins, right? So how many months? I don't know when it's actually going to come back again. And I'm assuming it's not coming back to the fall. My understanding is that season 19 is already in the can. And that's in post-production, and the stuff they're filming right now is already season 20 because TLC is so freaking far behind. Which made the whole wedding thing weird. Like the wedding happened and now Garrison's passing happened, and like these are topical things that have to be addressed in a timely manner. And TLC is, I don't know what they're doing. They've got to know that everyone's upset with how slow this is all going. They can obviously get things going quicker. Other reality shows can. And they pulled together Christine's wedding and put that out. I don't know. I'm not a TLC fan. I mean, I am a TLC fan because I watch Sister Wives and Seeking Sister Wives. People tomorrow that's on my list of to do. I am going to, on this channel, put a video just covering, here are the families that are involved in Seeking Sister Wives, just to put it out there, and then tell you to go to my sub channel to watch them. It is crazy good. It is crazy good. It is fueling my these people are crazy fetish. I don't know what you want to call it, that I'm missing now that there's no Cody for a while. Insane. So you definitely want to watch those recaps, and if you have a chance, I cover enough of it that if you don't have access to, I guess it's on TLC Go, I just put on TLC.com on my computer, and then I log in through my cable provider to be able to access the stuff. So I don't go through Discovery. I don't have a subscription to Discovery, but I think you can get it on if you subscribe to Discovery, you'd have access to it, and if you subscribe to TLC, you'll have access to it, and if you have a cable, you should be able to find it on your cable channel. We have this new Spectrum app on our television, and it's so not user-friendly that I just find it easier to go on to a computer and log in on TLC.com. So anyway, you can see Seeking Sister Wives that way. You have to search for it, though. It never pops up. Like current shows that are airing, there's no picture for it, no option. And then you look at other ones that have like Sister Wives and things that aren't currently airing there, it's not in there either. I literally always have to go in the search box and type in Seeking Sister Wives. So I don't think they're getting the viewership that they could if this picture would just pop up all the time. It's very weird, very weird. But yes, you definitely want to watch that show. It's amazing. And we're only like 4 episodes in. All right. Mace Chill. Thank you so much, Jenny and sister friends. I love Thursday nights even more than before because of this. Yes. We have a good group here, don't we? I love all you people. All right. I can't mention at work because of what people say about me. Look what I'm doing. I'm sitting here, I spend so many hours, and then like people will be like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I got the 2 jobs, but I only work part-time doing speech therapy, and then I'm part-time, I guess, also doing the other business and event planning and that. And so, but really, I probably spend more time researching, finding clips, recording things, coming up with ideas, writing reviews, and then recording it, and then doing all the editing. I do that probably more than I do my other 2 jobs together. It's just taking so much time, but I enjoy it. However, it's hard to explain to people when I don't have time to do things, or I'm overwhelmed, or I forget something, because I can't tell them. I literally, honest to God, people, I made an up excuse I don't know who I was talking to, but I'm like, well, it's taking a lot of time making these videos, these like YouTube videos for speech therapy. I full on lied. I got to the point that I'm a content creator of reality TV. Some people I just can't mention it to. I did break down and tell my mother. I don't even know if I told her the name of the channel, but I'm so embarrassed. I don't know why I'm so embarrassed. If I knew somebody watched it, I wouldn't be embarrassed, but nobody watches it. So then I feel like, what's wrong with you, Jenny? I don't know. I can't help myself. I can't help. All right, that's it. Well, hi there. How you doing, Cosette? I think my cat's been sitting there the whole time. Nice and quiet. They probably weren't running around as much because I got the overhead light off. It was lovely. It was a good chapter. This was fantastic. Thank you all. I am very excited to go back and read through all these fantastic chats. I glance up every now and then and see something about Cloak of Charity or something that's referencing things that have been in the past. We're starting to get inside jokes here. But sister friends, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We have made this. It's been 2 hours, hasn't it? Wow. It takes 2 hours to get through each one of these chapters. I love you all. You're all closet watchers. That's very funny. Oh, that's funny. We're closet watchers. We even give cloaks. All right, hit the like and subscribe button. Yes, thank you, German Shepherd lady. Love you all. I'm going to click out now. Hopefully you'll be able to rewatch this if you want to go back, if you missed anything in chat or came late. And I will see you next time, next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Between then, I'll have a video or two that comes out for you as well. Take care, everybody. Love. Bye.